Hello everyone, it's Bobby from Bobby's Papercraft. Today I will be bringing you what I believe to be is the best and easiest Memorydex storage box to assemble. This style and process came from my friend Anne over at Positive Papercraft here on YouTube. Anne graciously allowed me to share her design and process. Please take a moment to visit Anne's YouTube channel. I would really appreciate it. She's a very talented crafter. I will leave a link below to her video as well as my Facebook group where all measurements for this project can be found. Let's get started. First you will need one 12x12 piece of chipboard, medium weight, 2 sheets of pattern paper, one for the exterior and one to line the interior of this piece. You will also need some score tape. I used 1/2 inch, but any measurement will do. You will need some scissors, a bone folder, some liquid glue, and you will need some rods. These are little balsa wood rods that are 6 and 7/8 of an inch long, and these will be glued into the box to keep your Memorydex cards just off the bottom of the box. And that's it. Okay, to save some time, I already cut the chipboard, taped it up, as well as cut already the designer paper. So I'm going to show you from the very beginning here. The pattern that you want on the outside of your box has to be down. Okay, so now I have all the pieces here. I will read the measurements, but no need to take notes because over on my Facebook group at Bobby's Papercraft is a free PDF to download with all of the measurements. So I will read off the measurements, and I've already cut and taped them up with score tape. So the first measurement is 4.5 by 7. That will go directly in the middle here. And there is no exact way to put this on the paper. We are literally going to glue the chipboard down and we're going to wrap the box from there. There is no exact measurement for that, and that's what makes, to me, the easiest box to make. You will need 2 2x7 pieces of chipboard. Then you will need 2 2x4.5 pieces of chipboard. And here you already see this is the box. There's a little more to go into it than this, but this is how you will assemble it and stick it down to your 12x12 piece of paper that will be the outside of your box. Now when you line it up, you want to make sure you pre-line it all up so you know you will have a little lip of paper to go wrap around the edge. So I would urge you to leave at least 1/4 inch on both sides to wrap around over top of the lip of the cardstock, of the chipboard. Okay. So I want to leave these, I want to line them up as best I can, and I want to leave the others here while I pull off the center one, and I will remove all of the backing to the tape. Once you make one, you're going to want to make more. They're perfect for other storage ideas without the rails in the middle to hold the cards. I use something right here in front of me to hold all my glue and things I use for my videos. Okay. So now this is done. I don't need any liquid glue for the bottom, but if you feel that you need some glue for the bottom, please feel free to add it. Now I'm not going to worry about any placement here just yet. I just merely want to get this down. Okay. Here we go. Now what I do, as I put each piece down, I will use the bone folder to burnish the paper on to make sure it really sticks. You don't want any buckling or warping or pulling away of the paper. There we go. Now when placing your other pieces, I use the 2 4 1/4 pieces to make sure you leave just that 1/8 of an inch room on all your pieces, so when they fold up here, they will fold up on top and create a perfect alignment. You can put as much adhesive or tape on this as you would like. I think that the tape works much better than liquid glue because it goes a little faster in my opinion. So you can get it exact or just eyeball it for the 1/8 of an inch. It will work out regardless. This box is very forgiving. There we go. Now I'll burnish those two down. Okay, and here's our last two pieces. I do hope you give this box a try. If you haven't made some Memorydex cards, I encourage you to start getting into it, check it out, read up on it. It's such a fun process. To me, it's just another way of doing artist trading cards. You get a little more surface, and you get a storage box to go with it. So what more can what more can you have than having a box to go with your decorated pieces when you share and swap with others that do Memorydex as well. Now I'm going to burnish these two. And that's it. So now what I want to do, this one's a little wide here, but we're going to make it work. Now what I do is you gently fold the paper over to get it started. You don't want to just suddenly start slamming it around. You don't want the paper to rip, so you want to encourage it slightly on all of your fold lines. You can even use a slightly damp piece of slightly damp cloth to rub around on your edges to give it a little more giveaway, but I don't think you need that. You just got to be gentle, that's all. Okay, so now we're going to do it again, and this time we are going to fold. Where you see this part here, we want to continue that crease out into the paper as best you can. And again, this is a very forgiving procedure. I'm just going to use my thumb here and try to follow that crease line outwards. And I will do that all the way around the box. You can even bring in your bone folder here to help with your lines to get them straight. And you're going to do that on this side. And you will start to bring in your paper as tight as you can, and you're going to fold these down. They don't have to be burnished. Just you want to fold these down as close as you can. Just enough to get a line here marked in your cardstock so we know where to cut. And I'm using kind of dark pattern paper, so you may not see the lines easily, but we'll get there. And you don't have to worry about this paper being crooked or you lining this up crooked. That's what the liner pieces are for. They will cover up all, and it'll look great in the end, trust me. Okay, So we have that. Now, I know you can't see it, but there is, let me see if that helps any. There is, you can see the lines barely here, and that goes out to here, and then there's a line that goes all the way across here. Okay. We're going to make some cuts, and then we're going to assemble. So, along the top, on both of the ends that have the littlest amount of paper, you're going to cut that score directly down to the edge here and cut it off. And you're going to do that on all four sides. And that's what it looks like when you're done on all four sides. Again, they don't have to be straight because our insert paper will do all the work for you. There we go. And now the last squares we need to cut are here on the four diagonal corners. All four sides. Oops, a little crooked, but that's okay. Okay. You'll be left with something that looks exactly like this. We cut off these long rectangles and the four squares. And just to give you a look, this is what it will look like. And we have to do 4 more cuts and we're done with cutting. Now these 4 squares here, when these are pulled up, these will be your pages to hold it all together. These will be your flaps that will need more tape or liquid glue. So we're going to follow this right up against the chipboard, and we're going to cut right up to the next chipboard. And that will leave you with this flap. So when this is pulled down and this is pulled down, you will lift up and this flap will wrap around and hold it together. I hope that makes sense. And I will do that on both of the long ends. Okay. So now, when you fold these in, you will bring these up, and these will automatically wrap here on all these sides to hold your box together, just like that. And again, don't worry about this paper being crooked here. The liner pieces will cover up all of the sins that we have made trying to line this up today. Now, I'm going to add some more score tape. I'm going to be using 1/4 inch score tape for all 4 flaps. You only need a few pieces. You can do what I'm going to do is score tape on the top and the bottom, and I will use liquid glue for in between. This way you won't waste so much tape. You can do whatever you choose. You can do all liquid or all tape at this stage. But with the chipboard, I would encourage you to only use double-sided tape of your like. It goes relatively fast once you've made a few. Because once you get trading memory decks, you're going to need at least 2. Because they fill up fast, and it's just such fun meeting new people and finding out what their art type is, and the array of stuff that you get back in the mail. It's a joy. Okay, so now let me get my glue here. Okay, I'm going to peel all 4 sides. Oh wait, first, sorry, I'm jumping ahead here. First, I want to be able to put on my tape so these hold down the flaps, because we're going to put those down first. I'm only going to use one on the outside edge, and then I'll use liquid glue in between. There we go. Now that's it. Now what we're going to do first is bring the flaps that are going to cover these chipboard pieces down first. You can feel free to squeeze a little bit of glue in here for stability. You want to bring this as tight as you can. So I pull a little bit, and then just to make sure it's good and stuck, I burnish it. And that would be the same as all 4 sides. Okay, one more side to go. Okay, great. And that is it. Now you can start to see how finished off the box will be. So now, before we put the box together, we want to do the inside liner pieces. And for this, I will use liquid glue all the way around. I did pre-cut everything for my interior colors. I like something darker on the outside and more vibrant in the middle. It's just my taste. So you will need 1 piece of 7 by 4.5 to be glued here. You will need 2 pieces that measure, I forget what this measures. Let me find out for you really quick. This measures 4.5 by 2 inches on either side here. And then the last pieces here will be 1 7/8 of an inch. See how that will cover everything, that you won't see any crooked edges on there. And that's what we're going to do first, and then we're going to pull the box together. Okay. The glue I'm using is art glitter glue. I use this one or Scotch tacky glue. Both are my favorite for paper crafting. I think art glitter glue has a super fine tip, so it gives you a little more control. And when you want that little more control, I definitely recommend it. The glue is very good. Okay. Now it's down. I'm going to burnish again, make sure it's nice and flat and adhered well. And now I'm going to do the side pieces. Now I make sure I line these side pieces down towards the middle first. And then you'll be left, we're going to burnish. Then you'll be left with a really nice finish here inside of your box. Over in my Facebook group, we are doing a monthly Memorydex swap that if you would like to join, please feel free to stop by and just join the group and tell everyone you're interested in swapping. We do partner swap, so it's usually one-on-one, so it's not overwhelming. But once or twice a year, we will do an all-in group where if we get 16 people to sign up, then we're making 16 cards each. It's fun though, and they don't have to be a whole lot of work. See, now here I should trim this paper a little more. It didn't come down far enough for me to have a proper finish. There you go. And one more to go. This probably will be the same. So, and because I'm using Graphic 45 Steampunk Spells, their paper tends to be white on the inside, a white core paper. I already went around the sides and added some black ink so that way no white shows. I'm really not a fan of that. I mean, if it shows a little, I'm not worried, but you can do whatever you decide to do. There we go. Now it looks very nice. And burnish the last piece. There we go. I think it's going to look great. And now when we put these together, we will have a beautiful finished edge. Okay. Now one last thing I want to do is take off all of the score tape on these flaps. And there's one more step that I forgot to do that we're going to do now, and that is to miter these 4 flaps so that way it doesn't stick over the finished piece, and I will show you that when it's complete. Okay, so what I want to do is when these fold over and this finishes here, I want to make sure this top edge falls below this edge here. So to ensure that, to make it a good fit, I just miter it just a hair, really. It's hard to do now that I stuck tape on it, but I want to make sure that these fall below. They shouldn't if it's measured properly, but if it looks a little too close for you, then then just give it a little trim. Go. I think that ought to be okay, and so will that one. Alright, now we're going to raise these pieces.